Hello Capricorn, Sun, Rising, and Venus, and welcome to your reading. So Capricorn, today we're going to go over your energy as well as your person's energy. We're going to see how the both of you are currently viewing this relationship and how you guys feel about it and what actions you guys plan on taking in each other's direction and are moving forward. So with all that being said, Capricorn, let's get started. How does Capricorn currently view this relationship? Okay, let's see what's going on. So we do have the Two of Pentacles. We do have the Ace of Wands. And then we also have the Ace of Swords. Now, at the bottom of the deck, we do have the Ten of Swords to the Three of Wands. And then we also have the Ten of Swords again. All right, so in regards to how you're currently viewing this relationship, I am definitely getting a starting over energy coming from you. It kind of looks like you're choosing to leave something behind finally, and start a brand new chapter / cycle for yourself. I do feel like you learned a valuable lesson through this experience that you went through in the recent past. Now, it could have had a lot to do with a marriage, possibly a relationship, maybe even a situationship, but whatever this thing is that recently came to an end in your life is something that, yes, you brought finally to an end. And like I said, it's something that you learned a lot from. Unfortunately, it is something that brought you a lot of hard lessons. I am definitely getting that. Creating a great deal of pain for you. Because I feel like, yes, you learned a valuable lesson, but I feel like you just learned this valuable lesson in a very hard and rude way. I am definitely getting that. Unfortunately, you know, for you, but it kind of looks like it's finally over, you know, between you and this individual. And like I said, dude, I just see you finally, you know what I mean, moving forward and moving on with your life. And, you know, whatever it is that you learn back here, you're very determined, you know, to not make the same mistakes again, which is something that I really, really do love. And it just goes to show that you learned a whole lot. You did. You learned a whole lot. So if this has anything to do with like a marriage or relationship, I feel like you're going to be far more selective of who you choose to invest your time and energy towards. I also see you choosing to not ignore the red flags, you know, moving forward. If you notice a red flag, you're going to pay attention to it. You're not going to brush it off because that guy's cute or that girl's cute. You see what I mean? Like, you learned a lot, dude, from this previous experience that you went through, and very determined to not make the same mistakes again. So good for you. How does this person, what was that? Oh, I thought I saw the Judgment card. I'm like, wait a minute, what was that? All right, how does this person currently view this relationship? With Capricorn. Okay. We have the Page of Pentacles. We got the Sun. And then we also have the Page of Wands. Okay. I do see somebody new showing a whole lot of interest in you, my friend. I am definitely getting that. I feel like the two of you are going to find yourself developing a very close, you know, friendship with one another. I am definitely getting that. That's how this relationship between the two of you is going to start. You guys are going to start off as being, you know, friends. And I do feel like eventually it'll lead to something far more serious later on down the line. Yeah, I am definitely getting that you will find yourself developing a very close friendship with someone. You know, this is somebody who's going to bring a lot of happiness and joy into your life. And I feel like you're going to bring a lot of happiness and joy into theirs. I also see this person looking forward to, like, you know, talking to you and spending time with you and being around you, you know, things of that nature. I'm also getting an energy of them dropping little hints and clues that they're interested in you. So I'm getting some mild flirting, in other words, going on, coming from this person to you. How does Capricorn feel? Okay, so we have the King of Swords, we got the Six of Swords, and then we have the Nine of Cups. You know what? I like this relationship. Well, it's not a relationship because, well, it's a friendship. You know, it's a friendship, but I do believe that it's going to progress into, you know, a full-blown committed relationship, but I feel like it's going to take time before it gets to that point. And it's mainly because of what you just went through, you know? You just experienced a breakup, you just experienced a divorce, you need some time to heal, you need some time to recover, you need some time to yourself, honey. So, I mean, I get it. I get why it's not going to, like, reach higher levels of commitment, you know, anytime soon. And it's not because that's, you know, it's not because of them or anything like that. It's because of you and what, you know, you just went through. You need some time to heal. You need some time to recover. It is what it is, right? But I feel like your friendship, let's just call it a friendship because that's what it is. I feel like your friendship with this person, your bond with this person, you know, it is definitely helping you, you know, on this healing journey that you currently find yourself on, you know. I just think that, you know, I just think that the fact that you have this person by your side, you know, makes you feel like you're not alone in all this. Like you're not going through all this by yourself because you're not, you know what I mean? You got this human by your side. So yeah, I do feel like you really do appreciate them and, you know, everything that, you know, they're currently doing for you, as you're currently focusing on, you know, healing from this experience that you went through. Now, before I continue, let me fix this lighting because the sun is coming up. 1 second. Okay, we're back. So let's look at this human. How does this person currently feel? Okay. We do have the High Priestess. Okay. We do have the Six of Cups, and then we have the 10 of Swords. So in regards to how this person currently feels, you know, this person is secretly starting to develop romantic, you know, feelings for you. Now, I don't see them expressing all of that to you given, you know, obviously, what you just went through, you know. This person knows that you recently experienced an ending. So, you know, with that being said, they just don't necessarily feel like it's the right time, you know, for them to express to you how they feel about you, but they are developing romantic feelings for you. They're just going to choose to like keep it to themselves, considering, you know, everything that you're currently going through. They don't necessarily feel like you're ready, you know, for another relationship, you know, right now. So I just see them choosing to kind of keep it to themselves. What actions will Capricorn take towards this person or moving forward? All right, we got the Eight of Wands. Okay. We have the Eight of Pentacles, and then we also have the Three of Wands out here. Okay. The bottom of the deck, we have the Ace of Cups, the Five of Pentacles, and then we also have the Five of Wands. Okay. Okay. This is interesting because I do see how do I explain this? I do see God, because I'm getting two different storylines here. So just take what resonates with you and then leave behind, you know, what doesn't. But I do see distance, like all of a sudden between you and this person, a whole lot of distance all of a sudden between you and this person. I don't know if, you know, you plan on moving very, very soon and that's what's going to create the distance between you and this person. You know, now keep in mind, this could definitely represent somebody that you work with. And if this is somebody that you work with, I mean, you could very well be starting a brand new job somewhere else. Something's going on specifically on your end, that's creating this distance between the two of you. So you're either starting a brand new job, that's going to create this distance between the two of you, or you're relocating somewhere else, that's going to create this distance here, between the two of you. Now, this distance that's being created here between the two of you, it's not that they're creating this distance in some way, shape, or form. This distance that's being created, it's because of something that's going on your end. Like you starting a brand new job, if this is somebody that you work with, or you know, relocating to, you know, a new city or a new state, you know what I mean? Or you're moving further away from them. I don't know. Point is that this distance is being created because of you and whatever's going on in your life. And I do feel like your relationship with this person, is going to, for the most part, change a little bit, because of this distance that's taking place here, you know, between the two of you. Like, yeah, I do see you guys still, you know, speaking to one another and, you know, spending time with one another, but just not as much as like y'all used to like spend time with one another. And it's mainly because of this distance that's taking place here. Okay, what actions? We have the Three of Cups, we have the Hierophant, and then we also have the Moon. You know, even though there's even though I do see distance being created here, and it's because of something you got going on your end, I do feel like it is going to change things a little bit between you and this person. But at the end of the day, it looks like this person is very determined to be a part of your life no matter what's going on your end. So if you are relocating to a new state, or if you are relocating to a new city, or if you're moving further away from them, like they're very determined to remain a part of your life and make it work. Let's just say, for example, y'all work together, you know, and you're starting a brand new job somewhere else, you know, to the point where you don't really see them as much as you used to, or speak to them as much as you used to. Well, I still see this person, you know, trying their hardest to basically make it work either which way. In other words, they're not going to allow this distance between the two of you to stop them, you know, from trying to, you know, keep you in their life and make this relationship between the two of you work. And it's mainly because they do have a lot of emotions for you, and they would love to see where life could potentially take the both of you. So yeah, they would love, you know, to continue to, you know, be a part of your life and have you a part of theirs. They just kind of know it is going to be a little challenging due to this distance between you and them. Yeah, this distance between you and them. But they're very determined to make it work either which way. I am definitely getting that. I am definitely getting that. Another thing too, in the near future, I do see this person eventually like expressing, well, because over here, it's like this person's being very like indirect about it. You know what I mean? When it comes on to how they feel about you, they're being very indirect about it. This one over here is like, you know, for the most part, dropping little hints and clues that they're interested in you. So they're being very indirect about it. But I feel like in the near future, they're going to be a little bit more direct with you when it comes down to how they actually feel about you. In other words, they're going to make it very obvious that, you know, they have feelings for you. I am definitely getting that. And I feel like the moment that this person makes it a little bit more obvious, you know, that they're interested, you know, in you, I do feel like, for one, you know, you're obviously going to, you know, realize that this is somebody who does have a boatload of romantic feelings for you, but it's also going to cause you to essentially realize that you're just not ready for all of that just yet. And I feel like it has a lot to do with your past and what you just went through. It just kind of looks like you still need some time to fully heal from this previous experience that you went through. And I do see you communicating that to them. It's not a no, but it's also not a yes either. And it has a lot to do with your past and very little to do with this person. I am definitely getting that. All right. So that is what I have for you, Capricorn. Hopefully the reading helped. Hopefully it resonated. And I will see you guys in your next reading. Bye.